Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're going to review Virtual Ricochet VR, a game released November 2nd, 2020 by developer Blind Mystics in early access. It's available for all the VR major headsets. It normally retails for $14.99. It's currently on a release sale, 15% off. I got a free Steam key through the Steam Creator Connect program to review this game. Now, Virtual Ricochet is kind of like a fusion game between tennis, racquetball, and a shooter where you're shooting flying drones. And of course the question is, does it work? Is it any good? Well, let's talk about that. Virtual Ricochet is not really a bad game, but it definitely is lacking when you compare it to other racquetball games such as Racket MX or Hollow Ball or Spark or First Person Tennis. This game is clearly a step or two below all those games, although this one does have a element that I haven't seen before where they include a shooter as part of the racket tennis ball playstyle, so it does add a wrinkle to it. Unfortunately, I personally found the game just to be a little bit too slow, a little too clunky. The UI is kind of ugly. The weapon models are kind of blocky, and just instead of the gameplay feeling fresh and fast paced, it kind of felt slow and plodding. However, keep in mind, this is an early access, and I think this is a good idea that can work. I just really think it needs some fine tuning. So I don't think it's a bad game at all. In fact, I think it's an interesting game that I'm interested in maybe playing in the future once it's out of early access, but for right now it's just a little underwhelming overall, although there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. The game is running on the Unity engine. On my RTX 3080 I was getting a steady 90 frames per second on the highest graphical settings. I did test this out on Windows Mixed Reality. I did not experience any issues whatsoever with the gameplay. It should be noted that you only have teleportation in this game. You do have to physically turn in real life, and also you do need a good room scale to play this game. I was able to play it just fine, and I have a small play space, but you do need to at least be able to move like a foot to the left and a foot to the right at the very least, and maybe even be able to go a foot forward and a foot backward in order to be able to do some of the dodges required in this game. This game does start off quite easy with like only one floating platform, but as you go along there's more and more floating platforms, so you have to teleport to those other platforms. You'll also be required to move left and right to do some of the dodges. While you're doing that, you'll return some of the balls thrown your way. You'll have to match the color, and you'll also be shooting at some of the flying drones, and again you'll have to match the color also on your gun. You do have upgrades for your weapons. You have both a laser pistol and almost like a scatter gun, and there's also upgrades to your health that you can do. Now there's 8 total levels, and it took me approximately an hour to get to level 7, although there are 2 difficulty levels, normal and hard, but there just isn't a whole lot of content. Especially for the price of $14.99, I think this game, given what's available now in early access, is a little overpriced for what it is. And I really think this game needs fine-tuning as far as the game mechanics for the actual game before it's something that's really enjoyable and really competes with the best racket games in VR. And it also just needs overall polish on top of that. So if I have to rate this game, I think I would give it a 5.5 out of 10. It is an early access. I don't know this developers. I don't know how active they'll be in its development, but hopefully they work on it and make it something good for VR. But I have to rate the game as is right now, and as is right now, it's just not as good as some of the other VR racquetball games I have played. Anyways, I am Fast Lawyer. If you like my review, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.